I am Gabriela Ucros, and I specialize in treating clients with trauma. What usually resonates with me when I connect body and mind with my clients in session is I usually use the metaphor of the ocean, right? That we are the ocean. The ocean can be disruptive at times and very wild, and sometimes the waves come in and they're very large and difficult to tackle, but they always find their way back down. So this is what we're constantly, as human beings, we're in this wave, right? Where sensations arise and we feel them and then they pass. So whenever we're exploring a triggering event in a somatic session, we usually ask the client to connect to a difficult situation that brings up some kind of emotional distress. And then when you're able to identify what happens in the body, you can connect it to one of the responses. And usually you also connect that response to an early childhood memory, because our early childhood memories set the stage for the way that we respond in the present as adults. So a triggering event profoundly translates into the nervous system. Our nervous system is basically trying to protect us always. Its job is to protect us, to keep us surviving. And so these responses get activated, which are the fight, the flight, and the freeze response. The fight response, our muscles get really tense, our neck, our shoulders, our heart rate starts to accelerate. We can feel some heat coming into our bodies, so we start to maybe get a little blushed. We start sweating. Our system is saying we're ready to fight. Then we have this other response available, which is the flight response. Whenever we're experiencing it, we can feel some tension in our muscles. This restlessness starts to creep in. Our breathing maybe starts to accelerate, and we start to feel a rush of energy coming through our body. And we have this sense of like we need to move in order to survive. We need to run away. And then when these two are not available, our system goes into a freeze response, which is immobilization. We cannot fight the danger, we cannot run from it, and so our system just collapses. What's coming up in our bodies is like maybe our gaze is a little lost, maybe we start to feel cold, and there's a lot of energy, but internally, that energy can just not move. The problem is that when our nervous system gets hijacked by the survival responses, we tend to not have access to the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, which is in charge of our rest, digest, calm. So this is all automatic, and we are completely caught in these automatic reactions, just looking for survival. And so what we want to do in order to have a regulated nervous system is to bring the parasympathetic branch, and you start to maybe notice that you can take deeper breaths, that your heart starts to slow down, maybe you're not feeling as red, and you give yourself some time to explore a little bit more what's happening in your body. Is there any sensation in your body that you can recognize, that you can feel right now that it's coming up?
Numbness in my arms and my fingers.
So we're going to start to explore that numbness. The struggle of constantly feeling like you are reliving situations from your childhood in the present and that you're being emotionally triggered, it's real. Even if you don't remember the content, even if you don't remember exactly what happened to you, your body does. That feels like a good way to start. Feel the tension as you're closing. Does the tension remind you of anything else?
Maybe just a little social anxiety.
So the body remembers what the mind doesn't. Ultimately, what we want to do in therapy through this exploration is to give some space for that younger part to open up and feel heard and feel seen, and for them to have the ability to do bodily what they couldn't do when they were little. How is that feeling for you?
I feel like if I keep them apart, it's fine, but then the longer they stay together, the more that the tension comes back.
So just notice that. Notice that inside. Now you have the ability and the possibility to open your hands up and to release or to shift some of that tension. And so we want to teach that inner child that lives in our somatic memories, like, okay, now we have possibilities. It's insufficient just to work with the mind. We need to work with the body, and we need to understand the language of the body in order to fully heal. There is no language for a lot of our experiences, but there is language in movement, in breath, in sensation. The language of somatics is so beautiful because it doesn't ask you, why are you sad? It's like, how can we give some space for the sadness? What is this sadness? What is the color of this sadness? What is the texture of this sadness? The voices, the negative thoughts, the younger parts that hold the pain, they are all part of who you are. They are all part of your complexity as a human being. But you start to understand that there is actually a leader in this whole system, which is this energy, this core energy that we all humans have, which is compassionate and courageous and creative and calm. So when the emotional pain is lifted, you're able to see what's in front of you. I'm able to feel the sun in my skin. I'm able to hear the little bird that is singing. So when we hold the space for the pain and it starts to lift, we open space for love and for light and for presence. And so that pain, her vulnerability, starts to become a superpower. How are you feeling?
Good.
How's that?
It feels so bright now.